Hello, so welcome to the next stitch of the 50 stitches crochet along, and this time we're making the Jacob's ladder stitch. So these are the ladders, these lovely braided going up the square, and they're nice and raised up there. It's a lovely texture. It's a one-sided square, so you can see the back there, and it's just double crochet with chains that we connect together. Okay, so how do we make it? For this stitch we're using a 3.5mm hook, and we're going to start with a chain of 32. Okay, I'll zoom in there. Right, so we've got our 32, and remember that turning chain counts as a stitch, so I'll just pop a stitch marker in that 32, that last chain, because that'll be at the top of our first stitch of the row. And then in the fourth chain from your hook, we're going to double crochet. Okay, so now we've got 2 stitches, the turning chain, and that double crochet, 2 stitches, and we're going to make 5 more double crochet, so you'll have 7 in total. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so once we've got 7, I'm going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So as we've got our chain 10, we're going to slip stitch back into the double crochet we just did, and I'm going to go right into the top. So you've got this extra strand of yarn in there. I'm going to put a hook between the top loop and that loop down there, and just wrap around and slip stitch. Okay, so that entire loop is now attached to that one double crochet. Now we're going to double crochet in the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3. There we go. More yarn. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then we're going to chain another 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And again, I'm going to slip stitch back into the top of that double crochet. So I'm going to get in between the top loop and that loop of yarn that's towards the back, and just slip stitch the chain in place. And now I'm going to double crochet 2, 1, and 2, and chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oops. 8, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So each pile of loops is always going to have 10 chains, and then again slip stitch back into the double crochet we started with. And now we're going to double crochet in the next 7 stitches. This is the same pattern we're going to use for every row. So every row is the same, apart from the very last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, small yarn, 5, 6, and 7. And chain 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and slip stitch back into that double crochet we started with. So remember, in between those top loops and that other thread underneath, slip stitch in, and then double crochet in the final 7 chains. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we're going to repeat this row for 12 rows. Okay. So you'll have 7 double crochet, a chain of 10, 7 double crochet, chain of 10, 2 double crochet, chain of 10, 7, chain 10, and 7. So you have 30 stitches in total, not including the chains. So 30 double crochet in each row, and 4 loops of 10 double crochet. Okay, so when we go for the next row, you can change colour at any time in this, and if you're going to use the same colour again, I would just carry the yarn up the side. So I'll do alternate turning chain, which you haven't seen me do this before. If you just go to the search on my YouTube channel for turning chain, and that'll come up as to how we do this. And it counts as a stitch, so I'm going to pop a stitch marker in there. And then after the turning chain we've got another 6 double crochet. Oops. Try that again. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. And then we chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and same as before, slip stitch into the double crochet just made. Okay, so the loop below, just push that to one side, and your next double crochet is there. Okay. So don't worry about which side your loops end up on at this point, because we can just pull them through later for where we need them. Okay, so your loops should line up one on top of the other, and then you just carry on like that. So we do 12 rows like that, and in true Blue Peter style, here's one I made earlier. So you see all the loops are now all over the place. Nothing like the finished result we want. So row 13 is different. We're not going to make any more loops, but we do want to secure our ladder. So I've started row 13 here, and I want all my loops to be on the same side as the front of row 13. So some of my loops have ended up on the wrong side, which is absolutely fine. So all you do is pull them through. There. So just push your hook through, grab a loop and pull it through. Easy as that. And just make sure they're all on the right side. So that one. And pull through. And top one there. It's easy just to look at where they are and push on the back, and then just get your hook through so you can bring them in and try and figure out where the bit is on the front. So you want them to go through that slot there, just right above the loop, and pull through. Is that all of them? Yep, that's all. Okay. If you were doing a really big piece with this, I'd connect your loops as you go, but for such a short square, I'm going to do it now. Zoom out a bit. Okay, so I'm just going to finish the first 7 crochet, double crochet on row 13, and then begin zipping up the ladder. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 5, so I'll just do the last 2. Oops. Hold the camera, sorry. 1 and 2 in there. I'm just going to pull up a bit of a loop so we don't lose that. And we'll begin zipping this up. Actually, I'll just bring it a bit closer. Okay, so to create our ladder, get a loop and you're going to twist around once. It doesn't matter if you twist left or right, just make sure you do it the same way for all of them. And then just pull the top one through the bottom one. So twist, and then pull the next one through, and twist, pull the top one through the bottom, and twist, and just carry on all the way up, And then when we get to the top, we're going to lock them in place with a slip stitch. And that's all there is to it. It's a bit fiddly, so if you're having trouble doing this with your fingers, you can just use your crochet hook to pull them through. And you can play with a number of loops, a number of chains in your loops, if you want them bigger or smaller, if you don't feel they're going tight enough. And twist. And twist. Oops, I missed one. That one out. Is that one there? And twist. And last one through. And twist the top one as well. And then, I'm holding onto that, tighten my yarn back down again. And then into the top of that loop we're going to make a slip stitch. And that is your ladder secured. So then we carry on with the next 7 double crochet. I might have to lift the loops a bit to get that first one in. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then same again. Oops, my hook doesn't slip out. 7, and we're going to do the same again and zip up the next ladder. So we're going to twist, take the loop above and just pop it through the bottom one, and twist, pull through, twist, and pull through. It's quite satisfying seeing this come together from all those untidy loops. So you can use your hook to pull these through if it's a bit too fiddly with your fingers. That's why having long nails comes in handy. And last one. And twist. So just pop the hook back in. And slip stitch into the top. And there we go. So those come together nicely. So that's all there is to the Jacob's ladder, and you just finish these off with the same twist, These are actually a bit loose. They could probably actually go down to 9 single crochet if I wanted to. They would turn out a bit tighter. So I should go back to the original. See, nice and tight. And if you use different colours, it really nice effect where it just staggers the colours up. So for the border, so it's 1 single crochet in every stitch along the bottom. Along the top, it's a single crochet in every double crochet. That slip stitch doesn't count as a stitch. So you're just doing it into the double crochets, so 1 in each. Down the sides, you want to make 3 single crochet in rows 1, 4, 9 and 13. All the rest is 2 single crochet, and add an extra one in the corners for the turn. So it's 124 single crochet all round altogether. And that is the Jacob's ladder. So if you do find that your loops are a bit loose, like this one, you can see this is the one I make when I'm nice and relaxed in my chair, and this is the one I make in the video. And because it's turning out smaller because my tension's tighter, I could actually go down to about 8 or 9 chains in these loops if I wanted to. So if you do think that your loops are coming out loose or too tight, you can add extra chains as well if you think it's needed. So it's that one, it really depends on your tension. So you may want to have a play around depending on how it turns out for you. But I'm going to block this one and see how it turns out. It might tighten up once after I blocked it. So that's the Jacob's ladder. As always, if you have any questions, please do come over to the Facebook group. The link is in the description. I'd love to see how you're getting on. We always love to see your squares. If you have any questions, please do ask. We're always there to help. And I will see you next week for the next square. Bye for now.